Hello, guys. Welcome to class. It is 7:07, and since nobody connected, I'm going to record the class, and I'll share the recording with you. Let's get started today, and today's topic is going to be one of, how should I say it? One of things that maybe happened in the past or still happening, but we're going to look at this topic with a nice presentation based on Morocco. I think Morocco is a nice country. It'd be pretty cool to visit. So I said, why not make a presentation with Morocco? Let's get started here. Let's get started here today. And you can now see my screen. All right, let's get started. So like I said, today's presentation is going to be based on Morocco because it's a beautiful country. It's very nice. And I said, why not? Why not? So Morocco, there you go. And the question today is, what have you done lately? You will notice in that question, I am asking for something you have done recently. I'm not asking you when, but something that you have done. And in that case, we are using the present perfect. When do we use the present perfect? I'll show you now. We use the present perfect to express an action that occurred at some time in the past. It happened in the past, but we don't say when. For example, we have had 3 classes. This is number 4. I have seen the Superman movie so many times, the original one. I have played guitar many times today, but I don't say exactly when, at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock, yesterday, last week. No. And usually when we use this tense, we always have to use with have or has, and the verb is in the past participle. I'm going to explain what that is in a second. So here we have an example. We have Saul has drunk his juice already. You will notice I put there in the conversation, I said has drunk. Notice how we use has because we were talking about Saul. But we don't know when Saul drank it. All right. All right, let's go to, there we have the orange juice. There you go. All right, so there we go now. And we're going to take another look at how to use the present perfect. All right, so the present perfect can also express something that began in the past and is still happening now. I have lived in Colombia since 2003. I said when the action began, but I don't say, I don't say at what time, right? I say the year, and it's still happening now. It hasn't finished. When we use the simple past, I went to the store, I saw the movie. That's because that action is completed. It is finished. But when we use the present perfect, the action is not finished. Here's another example. Joshua has played basketball all year. The action of playing basketball began in the past and is still going on today. So this person is in the basketball team. He started playing basketball. He is not finished playing basketball. Probably he will continue to play basketball. All right, so here we have some examples, and I need you to help me. And please tell me, with these words, we're going to make a sentence. Can you please tell me how to use these words in a sentence using the present perfect? I'm going to do the first one. So we have a couple here. We have 2 people. We can say they, right? Because it's 2 people. And it's 2 people. We use have. We use has with he, she, it. And we use has with we use have with you, we, they, and I. They have just got married. Let's look at this one. All right, just. This just usually goes after the has or the have. And just means hace un poco tiempo, something that happened just a short time ago. So here we see just, see a ghost. Remember, the verb has to go in the past participle. What will we say in this situation? We would say, they have just seen a ghost. All right, let's go to another one. Let's take a look at that one. Just and have a shower. We're talking about a woman, right? So what will we use there? Think about it, think about it. All right, let's see what we have. She has just had a shower. All right, let's take a look at another one. Just be shopping. Be is the verb there, okay? You think about the past participle of the verb. Think about it, think about it. All right, here we go. The answer is she has just been shopping. All right, let's do another one here. So we see this guy here. He was in a race. Looks like he's very tired. What can we say there? What can we say? Think about it, think about it. We would say he has just participated in a race. Let's do another one. Just and paint their house. What could it be? What could it be? Think about it, think about it. The answer is they have just painted their house. Here we have just and have an accident. We see two cars in this accident. So what will we say there? Think about it, think about it. All right. And the answer is they have just had an accident. All right. Let's go to another one. Just and play a football match. What would we say there? What would we say there? Think about it, think about it. And the answer is he has just played a football match. All right, let's go to another one. Plane just landed. So plane. Whose plane? We see two people in the picture. Think about it. And the answer is the plane has just landed. All right. Here we have one more. I think this is the last one. We see a father and his daughters, or I don't know, could be an uncle and two nieces. We don't know. I'm guessing here. And it says just and bake a cake. We see three people. What would we say? And the answer is they have just baked a cake. All right. Now we're going to take a look at some phrases and vocabulary to keep a conversation flowing. So I am going to share this. When I share the presentation today, you're going to open this link and I'm going to show you here. I'm going to show you what we're going to do here with this link. So with this link here, the idea is to learn some phrases and some words that we're going to use in a conversation. Let's take a look at that. Take a look at this, see what we're going to do here for this. And let me share the sound here. All right, there we go. So we're going to take a look at some phrases to keep a conversation going. So the conversation doesn't stop, it keeps flowing, right? In this video, Noelia, Bob, and Bob talk about Spain. Listen to the language they use for keeping a conversation going and practice saying the useful phrases. So here we're going to see this video. You're going to click on this video, and remember, when you watch this video, please make sure to activate the subtitles, not the subtitles, but the captions in English. So that way you can read what the people are saying. After you do that, after you watch the video, you're going to do this, and you have to put the conversation in the correct order according to what you heard. How do you do that? You press a line and then press another one so they switch places para que cambien de lugar. So switch, for example, I don't know, switch, right? That's going to be the first task. Task number 2 is going to be this here. where you use the phrases or the questions, and you're going to match them with the answer, with the reply that the person said in the conversation. All right, that's going to be task number 2. And task number 3 is this one here. So what's new? And you choose what would be the best answer for those questions. These are usually questions that we use in a conversation. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's new? All right, so you do the first. This is just one, but you're going to click here on the arrow to go to the next one. There are a total of six lines of conversation here. And those are the 3 tasks that you're going to do with this link, which is in this PowerPoint presentation here. Which is in the PowerPoint presentation here. Okay, this is in the slide number 27. All right, so let's continue. And for today's conversation, well, this is a conversation class. I was going to ask you some questions. For example, have you ever traveled abroad? Abroad is another way of saying to another country. Have you ever traveled abroad? Where have you been? I have been to the United States. I have been to different parts of the United States. I haven't been anywhere else. It's Colombia and the United States. And that's me. Here in the second question, we see, have you ever tried a food different from the food from a different culture? Well, I have, and I think we all have. The most common foods that are almost everywhere are, the restaurants of Chinese food. You can probably find restaurants of Chinese food in Colombia, in Chile, in Berlin. It's everywhere. And I think another food that is very it's very famous, I think we talked about this in one of the classes before, is Mexican food. Mexican food is everywhere. So it's a very popular food. I've tasted Mexican food. I've tasted food from Thailand and Indonesia. Portuguese. I've tasted Portuguese dishes as well. I think that's about Ecuadorian dishes, but Latin America, we share a lot of the same cuisine. So, and question number 3, have you ever had a difficult conversation with a friend or family member? I have. And what was it about? Well, sometimes even people in your family might have different opinions on politics or just, different perspectives of life. I think, man, I've had many intense conversations. I don't remember one specifically, but I think the latest one was, I was talking to my wife of the effects of social media, because we got our children's cell phones and they're young, they're teenagers. My daughter is 14, my son is 16. And it's like, we didn't want to give them cell phones. I didn't want to buy them cell phones, but my wife says it's necessary for communication. And I thought about it, just kept thinking about the effects of social media. I think that was the last conversation that was difficult. All right, I had some other questions here for conversation, but there's nobody here. So I'm just going to tell you the questions and I'll try to answer some with you. And the question here says, have you ever learned a new skill? What was it and how did you learn? Yes, I think one of the skills that I learned was to play guitar. I don't play very well. I'm okay, but I think one of the skills that I learned was to play guitar. I learned by myself, just looking at videos, and now with YouTube, it's been very it's been helped me very much to get better. So hopefully I'll keep learning. I'll keep learning with YouTube. It's a great tool to learn. All right, let's go to the second question that says, have you ever read a book that changed your perspective on something? I have. Actually, the book that I read is from Jordan Peterson, and it's called 12 Rules for Life. I think it's a very good book. It gives you a lot of good advice to use in your life, and it's like a little bit of philosophy, a little bit of psychology, and it makes you think of I don't know. I think that it makes you think of how to keep priorities in your life. I think that would be the best way to think about it. The third question is, have you ever experienced a natural disaster? What was it and how did you deal with it? I actually I've been in many earthquakes. They're very common here in Colombia, but not, nothing too serious. It was nothing that made me run out of the house or anything. I try to keep calm in extreme situations. I think that is a key, to keep calm, because we can't control, Earth. And I try to deal with emergency situations with patience and just being calm. I think that's key. The final question is, have you ever achieved a goal that you set for yourself? What was the goal and how did you accomplish it? I actually did. This was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. My goal was to lose 15 kilos. I actually lost 20, and I accomplished it by doing a lot of exercise. All right, I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to pause this video. I think somebody needs help to come in, and I'll pause the video. I'll be right back. Okay, so back to this. So I was talking about some questions using the present perfect. Let's take a look at some more. And I think here on the next slide, we have an activity for pronunciation. Let's take a look at that activity and what we're going to do. So let me share my screen here. Let's take a look at this activity that we're going to do for pronunciation. So yeah, it's an activity for pronunciation. We have done this type of exercise before. This one is very easy. I think you are all going to do fantastic. And this is the exercise here. So the idea, guys, remember, is to press the green icon button here.
I ate all my lunch.
And then when you are ready, you're going to press the microphone icon once to begin speaking. And then you press it again so it can stop recording. For example, I ate all my lunch. And then you will see at the bottom, you get like a little check. So that's the idea. We're going to do that exercise now. This is in the presentation. It is slide number 30, guys. Slide number 30. All right, I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to pause the video, give you some time, and go ahead and do your exercise. See you soon. All right, so we're back now, and we're going to do another activity now. I said that's going to focus. It's one of the best exercises to work on your pronunciation, and it's a way that babies even learn to speak the language. And this is going to be very good for you, for the people that kind of tend to think too much of what is the word, what is the tense, am I saying this correctly? Let me share my screen here and show you what we're going to do. And you're going to see, man, it's you're going to see that it's not that hard at all. And this is good for you because maybe sometimes you focus too much on what you're going to say. And this exercise helps you to focus more on the pronunciation. This is called the shadowing technique. And what this is is basically just imitation. Remember that when we are trying to work on our pronunciation has nothing to do with grammar. It has nothing to do with grammar. When we work on pronunciation is just imitation of sound. That's all it is, imitation of sound. We're going to do an exercise now where you're going to listen to somebody speaking, and while they're speaking, you read what they say, and then you are going to repeat what they say. And this is called the shadowing technique. It's a proven method to improve pronunciation and speaking. And the teacher here is going to explain it really quickly, and then you'll start the exercise. This is all about repeating what you hear. Don't worry about grammar. This is all about pronunciation. I am going to share the link here in the Zoom meeting and do that exercise. And this is going to help you, especially for those people that focus too much on grammar. Don't worry. Pronunciation is not grammar. It's not even vocabulary. It's just imitation of sound. Let's do this exercise. And as soon as you're done, Azaya, just let me know. We'll continue, okay? And good luck on this exercise.
Yeah, okay.
All right, my man.
I like this.
Yeah, you know, it's a good exercise, like I said, to focus more on just fluency and pronunciation. You don't worry about grammar. You're just imitating sound. Imitating sound.
Yeah,
All right.
but it's complicated because I see the lyrics, and I don't know. Obviously, they are native, a native guy, no?
Right. The guy's native, yeah.
So
Sure.
I don't know. Sometimes, well, I remember I had conversation with native people.
Right.
So it's very hard for me because sometimes they speak very fast, and I try to catch the words, and I try to give a mean what happened in the conversation. I try to
Right.
translate all the information, but
Yeah,
they
that's
speak very fast, very fast. So I think it's similar when they speak Spanish, no?
right.
But
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, it's complicated. Obviously, I understand. Sometimes, oh well, I think maybe I understand 70%. I don't know, but I understand. The
You know
problem
what
is when
happens too? You know what it is too, Asael? It also depends, like every person, even in Spanish, and even if Spanish is your native language, like you mentioned, there are some people that talk very fast. There's some people that it's not even about speed, it's just like the way they talk. They don't really vocalize the word. So this also happens in another language. And if the person doesn't speak like with a neutral accent, it can be very difficult to understand. But like I recommended in the first class, I think one of the best things to do is take a series and watch a series in English with subtitles in English. In the beginning, your brain, because you don't do this, consciously, you do this unconsciously, your brain begins to adapt to how fast this character speaks and the accent of that character and how the other character speaks. And after 4, 5, 6 episodes, your brain is already adapted to how each character pronounces words, their enunciation, that means how they move their mouths, their speed, their intonation, and this happens also like with me. If you continue having class with me, you'll understand most of the things that I say. But if maybe for the next class we get another teacher who's a native speaker, he can speak at the same speed as me, but you'll have to take some time to get used to and adapt it to his speed. So, it happens. It's a process of adaptation for sure. Yeah. You were going to say?
yeah, I forget. No, yeah. In fact, I need to be honest. I learn English because I like the music. I watch movies because I'm studying elementary, high school, and college. But I think the level in these areas is very low, very low.
Yeah.
So I think maybe my knowledge about English, about the language, is because I watch movies in English, I listen music in English. So right now I listen podcasts. For example, Joe Rogan, the
Oh,
podcast.
I'm a huge
I
fan. Yeah, huge fan. Sure.
I hear his podcast, and I watch series, Friends, Two and a Half Men, the Big Bang Theory, because my friend told me you watch these movies, this series, because in this series especially their slang or I don't know. He recommended me see this series, and yes, my intention is learn, is improve my English, because it's necessary for me, because I know if you learn English, you have more options in the life, especially
For
in my
sure.
career,
For sure. What are you
because
studying? What's your career?
industrial engineer.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. For sure.
So it's funny because before I work in a brickware in 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 my city.
Mhm.
So it was a new company. Maybe you
Right.
know, maybe you hear about that. It's a Grupo Modelo.
Yes, I have heard of it.
Yeah, well, we produce a lot of beer, different brands like Victoria, Modelo.
Yeah, I've drank Modelo beer. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
good.
well, it's funny because my boss had one day he told me, "Hey, um, you speak English, right?" And I go, no. He goes, "Yes, you speak English. Come on, I need your help."
Oh
Uh,
boy.
there were suppliers of the machines in the company, so they were born to Germany. So uh,
Wow.
my boss told me, "Hey, you ask him if tomorrow there will be alarms in the machines, so we don't have to the sound in the area. So you say him, you tell him with about that."
Oh,
Oh, digo, it's funny because you are my boss, so I think you have a knowledge, so you have
yeah, right.
to
Because
learn
there's a lot
English,
of technical terms and stuff, right?
Yeah, so for this reason you are my boss. I'm the new here.
Wow.
So it was well, it was complicated because the German told me, okay, what machine? He
Oh
would
boy.
go, no, I don't know how do you say the machines, because maybe I
Hey,
have,
they have a technical name. Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't know what is the name.
Oh
But well,
boy.
obviously I have to use my smartphone and okay, translate it. Oh, this machine. Okay, I got you. Like, it's funny for me because, well, for me it was a good opportunity. Obviously, if I speak very fluent in this moment, maybe the German told me, you speak very well English. Hey, what is your name? And maybe it's other conversation and maybe other future.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's true.
And obviously my boss, cuando él vio,
When he saw, when he
when
saw,
he saw the moment when I uh, uh, take my smartphone, he think, he don't know, he don't know
the word, right.
yeah. So now you don't know English, right? They go, "Oops, a little bit. They go, okay, thank you." So maybe for him is, no, he's a good guy, but no. So I lost two chances
Two
to
opportunities.
yeah,
Yeah.
to grow up more into the company or in other place. So, well,
But you're a young guy, as I said. It's not over. And the important thing is that you're on the path, you're on the way to achieving your goal. for sure.
Yeah, I know. This is my intention is improve, no, improve, and learn because I know maybe maybe not today, or not tomorrow, maybe 1 year. I don't know how long, but I know I think I have the skills so
I think you do. I think you
to speak very fluent the English
you do.
because yeah, I know, but my intention, I want to learn lo más rápido posible. I
As
know
fast
is,
as possible. Yeah. Now
yeah,
you
I
know what?
know,
I'm gonna give you the key if you really want to learn quickly. I recommend you read. Read as much as you can. In fact, I'm going to recommend this page here. Let me share my screen because as a teacher, when I became a teacher, I think, and happens for all English teachers around the world, you say, you go to school and you learn and you say, okay, that they have to know the tenses and the syntax of the language and blah, blah, blah. And you get into the classroom and you start teaching the verb to be and the present simple. And I was a high school teacher for many years. And so I would have students in 8th grade or 9th grade. I'd show them, the present simple, and then they go to another teacher. And then I see them again in grade 11, and they're still having problems with the present simple. And I remember when I taught them the present simple, I would fill the board and give them all the rules. And I noticed when these kids were in 11th grade, the ones that were doing better, I would talk to them, say, okay, why is it that this topic is easy for you? And they say, I don't know. And I would talk to them and I say, okay, what do you do in your free time? I watch movies, I read, different people I read. And so I started studying the effects of reading on language. And I actually went to a conference that talked about the studies of how reading can help you for a second language and how effective it is compared to writing, compared to speaking, compared to grammar knowledge. And it is proven that the best way to improve, obviously, your reading comprehension, obviously your vocabulary, obviously your grammar, but it also improves your listening and it improves your speaking and writing. We learn language by what we call input. Input is everything that we see, and the only way to see a language is by text. And everything that we hear. So listening, right? Music, movies, conversation, whatever. So this is the way we learn language. We don't learn by speaking. You can speak to the wall for 2 hours. You're not going to learn anything. You can write in your room for hours and hours. You're not going to learn anything. Your English is not going to get better. You only learn by input, by reading and listening. Of course, if you have a conversation with somebody like we're speaking now, you're listening to me. And while you're listening to me, your brain is thinking about the questions and thinking about the answer. And then there's like a constant feedback and a constant flowing conversation. Yeah. But if you're just talking to the wall for 2 hours, you're not going to learn. So the best way to really improve your English is by reading. I'm going to show you this page here, and I really recommend it. It is, I would say, the best reading comprehension program online. It's totally free. It gives you text. The texts are pretty cool because depending on your age, like you put your age, and it gives you texts that are more for your age, and everything is informational text. And with every text, there's a little quiz. And the cool thing about it is that when you start to get better, when it sees that you're getting 90% or more on the quizzes, then it gives you texts that are more difficult for you. If it sees you're having a very difficult time with text, then it gives you texts that are easier for you. So it is always adapted to your pace and to your speed of learning. And so readtheory.org, man, I really recommend this page. And when I started using this page after the studying that I did, I noticed that the students that had a very difficult time with grammar, they would just get it much easier by reading. It's just so much easier to read than to memorize grammar. And it is also proven. Let's say you don't know a vocabulary word. Let's say you're looking at a text and you don't know what, I don't know, the word build is in the text. You don't need a dictionary. If you keep reading, it is proven that if you see a word a minimum of 70 times, 70 times in the text, you will understand the definition of the word without using a dictionary and all of the definitions. Now, think about how many texts do you have to read to see the word build 70 times? Many. But think about every time you're reading, you're not only seeing the word build, you're seeing all these other abundance of words, and you're learning the language. And of course, you're learning the grammar. This is what happens in Spanish. Maybe the Spanish teacher might have all of the technical knowledge of the language. But if somebody writes a sentence in Spanish, somebody that is learning, and they show it to you, you know that it's wrong. You don't know why it's wrong, but you know the things that are wrong and how to correct it. And this is what happens when you read and you read. You understand how language works without knowing all of the rules and the what, you just know how to correct it. That's also a very good way to do it, is a lot of sentence correction, which is something that we might do in the future. Get sentences in a certain tense and you correct them. It's a good way to practicing grammar without the rules of grammar. But reading is the best way. I really recommend that webpage, readtheory.org. And so I recommend that. But it happens even in Spanish, where we speak Spanish and sometimes it's hard to understand people. It happens, Yeah. But the most important thing is that you're here, you're committed, and discipline. Discipline is the key for to reach any goal. It really is. I'm going to change I'm going to change the topic a little bit, because I want to show you a webpage that's going to help you very much if you like learning about different topics. But I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question here, Azael. If you could have any superpower, what superpower would you have? Tell me in Spanish and I'll give you the word in English.
It's like you know what is Charles Xavier?
Yeah.
Of X-Men.
X-Men. Yeah.
His power.
Ooh, yeah. He is
control minds.
Controlling the mind. That's a fantastic power. Very powerful. You can do that, man. Well, one of the most popular powers are flying. Or when I ask students, they say flying, or they say immortality, or invisibility. So I'm going to show you. I want you to see this video here. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you this video. And we'll take a look at this video together. This one is called If Superpowers Were Real. And I don't know if you know this channel on YouTube, but I really recommend this channel, because this channel, they have videos on many topics, and all of them have closed captions in English. So this way you can read and you can listen and learn a new topic, and all of them are animated videos. So they're pretty cool. We're gonna watch one together based on invisibility, and see how good of a superpower that is. So here we go. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk a little bit about it as soon as it's done. Okay, here we go.
Wouldn't it be great if we could be invisible, right? I mean, we could spy on people without being noticed and do whatever we want without being held responsible. Now, magicians have figured out how to utilize full-size mirrors to bend light in order to create disappearing illusions. Scientists have created metamaterials to guide rays of light around tiny two-dimensional objects. Cameras can also film what is behind you and project the image so you appear invisible from the front. However, none of these options can make an object as large as a person appear invisible from all angles and distances while it's moving. But if you are truly invisible, as in from within, here are a few problems you may not have thought about before. To move around undetected by other people, you would have to be totally naked. Even if it's freezing outside, you can't carry anything, including your wallet and keys. Otherwise, people would just see your wallet and keys floating around. Drivers and people on the street can't see you either. Therefore, they can and will run into you at some point. Oh, and you better not wear any perfume or make any noise breathing. Otherwise, they'll know you're there. And just because you start off invisible doesn't mean you'll stay that way. What if someone accidentally spills scalding hot coffee on you? And what if it rains? But if you think only liquid can make you visible, you're wrong. Dust consists of dead skin cells from humans, soil particles, and fibers from clothes made from cotton and other materials. Dust sticks to the moisture on our skin when we sweat and the tiny hairs on our skin when we are dry. So even if you are invisible, dust would still land on every part of you. We usually don't notice the dust on our skin because we can't see a thin layer of dust on top of our skin color. But if you're invisible, people would see a human-shaped blob of dust walking around with extremely dirty soles. Gross. What do you think the world looks like if you were invisible? Well, the answer is nothing. The reason you can't see in the dark is because there's no light. To see an apple, light has to hit the apple and return it to your eyes. Then the retinas in your eyes catch the light reflection for your brain to interpret into the image of an apple. If you're invisible, then by definition, light would travel through you or around you instead of bouncing off you for people to see. But that means that retinas in your eyes are not catching the light either. Therefore, your brain has nothing to interpret into an image. Can you see your reflection without a mirror to stop the light? No. So, when you can't be seen by others, you also cannot see. Ouch! Now, have you given any thought as of whether the invisibility is permanent? If it is, how can you receive medical treatment from a doctor if you're injured? The doctor wouldn't know where to apply ointments or bandages because they cannot access your injury. For that matter, you can't see it either. I mean, what if you have an illness or an infection? How can the doctor diagnose you without being able to see the color change or inflammation? And what if everyone is permanently invisible? Well, think about how boring the world would be without seeing people on the streets, on TV, or at home, on your computer. Like right now. It's lonely being invisible. Now, which superpower physics lesson will you explore next?
All right, so there you go. This was the video based on invisibility. You know, you normally don't think of all these things, right? But so I got this video from this channel. I really recommend it because it has all kinds of topics, science, history, everything.
Yeah, in fact, I watch TED Talks. I watch
yes.
TED Talks, yeah, but sometimes it's boring. Well, I watch some videos, but obviously it's a conversation,
personal growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the TED Talks are interesting. It depends on the subject, but I think these videos are more interesting because you can look for a video that is, about something you like, about engineering or science, or So I think I really recommend this one. It's actually made from the people of TED Talks. It's called TED Ed. Okay. So I recommend this one, and I wanted to show you that. I'll share this with you. I'll share this with you in the I'll share this with you here in the chat. Oh, there you go. All right. All right. So we still got some time. I think we're going to do an exercise that I don't know if you were here when we did this one, but let's do, or this type of exercise, because I never repeat exercises in the classroom. But let's take a look at this one here that I have for you. And this one is a dictation exercise. Dictation exercises have been used in language learning for years, but the cool thing about this one is that you have more control. Now you're going to press play here. There are 10 sentences. You're going to press play here.
What are you looking for?
And if the audio is too fast, you can change the speed here. Here it is in 1x, but you can put it in like 0.5x, make it slower if you want.
What are you looking for?
I'm going to do the first one for you.
What are you looking for?
Yeah, too easy, right? And when you check it, here on the right-hand side, you can see the pronunciation of each word, but these are easy words for you. I don't think you'll need that.
What?
The UK pronunciation and the American.
What?
There you go.
What?
So let's do this exercise now. I did the first one for you, but I'll let you do the other. I'll let you do the other 9, and let me know when you're done. We'll come back. I'm going to share this link here in the WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group, no, in the Zoom chat. There you go. Check that out. Let me know when you're done, and good luck to you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, my man. All right, my man. How did you do with that dictation exercise?
Yeah, it's easy. Easy.
Not bad. Too easy or so-so?
Too easy.
Too easy. All right. Good to know for the next one. Good to know for the next one. Asael, I'm going to share with you just a link here in the Zoom chat. Do me a favor, just fill out, that's the today's attendance, so we know you were in class. And that's it. I'm going to share in the WhatsApp group. I'm going to share the presentation that we used today, and the video of today's class. I'll upload it tomorrow, just in case you want to look at it again or anything else. Okay. Do you have any
Okay.
questions so far?
No.
Cool. Well, listen, it was cool to have a class with you because we could speak a lot. So it was pretty cool, man. So thank you so much for being here. As always, it's my pleasure, and I will see you again next week, man. Take care.
Okay, thank you.
Remember,
Have a good-
if you have any questions at all about any question about the language, vocabulary, or resources, maybe you want to work more on listening or anything else, I can send you some extra stuff via your WhatsApp as well. Okay. Never
Okay,
be
thank
too
you.
shy. You're very welcome, man. Have a fantastic night, man. Take care.
You too, thank you.
All right now. Bye-bye.